Her chemistry, like, came from UCLA, has worked with different brands like IS Clinical, Skin Better Science, Aveda, and all in just creating amazing products. And so I'm not gonna take another minute of your time and let Angie just get into the science of Korean skincare and then the subject that we talked about, the Centella Asiatica, and all the cool things that have been developed with that. And again, if you have any questions, please drop them into the chat and then we'll do a Q&A right closer to the 30-40 minute mark. Does that sound good?
Right.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you everyone so much for being here. I know with all the different places you've dropped in the chat, it might be dinner time for you, it might be bedtime for you. So, your time on this call today is so important to us, and we want to make sure that we maximize it for you. So, exactly as she had said, my name is Angie. I am a product training and development manager. Background is in that biochemistry, but prior to my time here at this current job, I was a cosmetic chemist. And so with, interacting with IS Clinical, Skin Better Science, Color Science, I was able to really assist the formulators in how to maximize their formulations either in ingredient selection or ingredient removal. Sometimes you just add in things that don't do anything, and we want to make sure that your entire ingredient list is concise and is doing something for your formula. Today, I'm going to speak to the formulation technique and really the philosophy behind K Beauty, how it differs from what we may be used to, why it is trending right now, and we'll go in depth on a specific heritage ingredient within the K Beauty industry, which is Centella asiatica. And I have key information about a unique strain, which is giant Centella asiatica. So, without further ado, I'm going to get to sharing my screen. Always need some visuals to really educate even myself. So, hopefully, you enjoy. As I had mentioned, K beauty is trending, but we want to argue that it's not a trend. It's a tradition. It's a lifestyle. It's a daily practice of self care that South Korean peoples have been practicing for generations. And this is quickly taking the globe by storm as it gains popularity here in the US, in Canada, in Mexico, and beyond. This appreciation of daily self care is really what is grounding individuals in these different routines and in the products. Many of us currently think we don't have time for self care, but you absolutely do. And it's as simple as practicing a skincare routine. In the idea that while trending, it's not a trend, it's important to note that K beauty has those ancient roots, that many of those ingredients come from heritage, that they are either traditionally used medicinally and only now have been proven efficacious via science, or they might have a story to them. Like even Centella asiatica is known as tiger grass because wild tigers were shown to roll around instinctively in their leaves to heal the wounds. But there's also a significant staying power in the market. While, yes, it is popular, it is becoming a hot topic, we have seen in statistics and market analyses that the K beauty trend and purchasing habits are only continuing, that those who purchase K beauty products return to buy them again. Most importantly, it's the expectation of those undeniable results of that Korean glass skin. And really, that comes not only with innate hydration, but really focusing on your skin's health. All of this considered, when we approach K beauty, there's a different formulation technique in comparison to Western beauty ideals. Really, K beauty formulations are focusing on proactive protection and prevention rather than problem solving. While, yes, we often look for problem solutions, often quick fixes, those may come to the detriment of your skin with things like retinoids causing retinol burn or AHA and BHA peels that, yes, they work, but they have downtime, they cause irritation. K Beauty is really looking towards building up the fundamental health of your skin long term. This, of course, takes patience and consistency, but is well worth it. To do so, this often means gentler ingredients, many of those heritage natural ingredients, but we also do use actives that are well known in the industry. We just keep them to lower concentrations to maintain your skin's integrity. That then culminates into a huge concept of K beauty, which is that multi step routine. Staying consistent, layering these ingredients and these formulas is how you bring about that innate appreciation of a glow like you've never seen before. In the simplicity of a K beauty approach, or rather the perhaps initially perceived complexity because there's so many different steps, we want to simplify it by really looking at the basic tenets of K beauty. K beauty is defined by three key performances, and that's cleansing of the skin, hydration, and protection. And I have no doubt that everyone on this call today knows exactly what these mean and what it really means for good skin. In cleansing, yes, you're removing daily impurities, but you're also helping your skin desquamate and remove those dead skin cells. And you're also preparing it for better absorption of future topicals. Hydration cannot be overexpressed. And one of the ways in which you achieve that Korean glass skin, and which many formulators in South Korea are prioritizing, is maintaining the utmost hydration of your skin cells. Not only does this allow for general cellular health and cellular functions, but you get that kind of collagen mirror effect where your skin just radiates and reflects light, much like a mirror. And to really seal in all of your efforts, you have that protect step. And protect in its most traditional sense is UV protection. But sometimes it means building up your skin's innate protection, which is your skin barrier. All of this is really trying to reduce any potential damages caused by aggressors we come in contact with every day, whether it be UV rays and overexposure or even pollution in your environment. As we approach the conceptualization of specific ingredients and formula, we often find that brands have that perfect marriage of when tradition meets innovation. We in K Beauty prioritize that tradition that really creates the fundamentality of our skincare approach. But we're in an ever changing society. Personal care is always fluctuating. There's always something new, there's always new research. And so you still need to have a brand that's dynamic in that way, that we don't necessarily rest on our laurels in terms of the tradition, that we embrace the potential that comes with science. And K Beauty is that perfect marriage. You have a traditional story, something to romanticize, but you have the science to keep you confident in the products and how they're performing. We have two main heritage ingredients and one main form of technology. We like to prioritize Giant Byungpool and Jeju Lava Energy Water. These are both raw materials from Jeju Island off the coast of South Korea, but we also employ liposomal technology. Again, many of you may be familiar with the use of liposomes in formula. So while we are utilizing these, I will speak just generally to their performances and to their efficacies in skincare products. With the Giant Byungpool and the Jeju Lava Energy Water, these are sourced specifically from that island, Jeju Island. In the utilization of heritage ingredients in K Beauty formulations, they might come from many different locations. For example, Centella is grown in Jeju Island, but it's also grown in Madagascar. And so there's different ways in which a K Beauty brand is going to source their raw materials. I would say a quintessential K Beauty brand tries to keep the raw material sourcing to South Korea. Of course, there's always limitations to that, but that's where you really get a quality source because it has that understanding of the tradition behind the ingredient. In our tie to Jeju Island, and specifically in discussion with that Giant Byungpool, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it's heavily governmentally protected and respected in its beauty and in its resources. This creates a need for sustainability in raw material sourcing. So many K beauty brands will really prioritize a more environmentally friendly approach to their formulations because they're upholding natural ingredients in formula. Let's transition to the discussion of Centella asiatica specifically. With the exploration of Centella and what it can do in formulations and also in nutraceutical applications, our company actually, Remon, has established a smart farm. We are the first company vertically integrated in the controlled growth of Giant Byungpool or Centella asiatica. The utilization of a smart farm really helps in the study of that Centella because we have a consistent flow of this raw material, a consistent way of measuring specific parameters to ensure it is growing the same every time and has the same phytonutrient every time. And that allows us to speak to the various molecules present in Centella and present in now Giant Byungpool. In this smart farm, we monitor essentially everything, the temperature, the salinity of the soil, the humidity of the room. But otherwise, these leaves are left to grow self sustainably. They grow via osmosis, they're planted in sand beds, and they pull Jeju lava, energy water, or otherwise volcanic water from their roots up into the foliage. Centella asiatica, grown in this smart farm, still has many other natural sources. It's grown in many different areas on Jeju just naturally. And so that is true for many other localities, Indonesia, Madagascar. And so when we look at the history of Byungpool or Centella asiatica in general, there's so many different names, so many different histories of use, so many different localities of growth. I keep slipping Byungpul in there. Byungpul is the Korean spoken name of Centella asiatica, and it had actually yet to be written down before. So we've spelled it here as Byungpul because of all the different phytonutrients that are contained within the leaves. But it's also known as tiger grass, gotu kola, Asiatic pennywort, and most commonly by its scientific name, Centella asiatica. Centella was more often employed in formulations both in K beauty and outside of it. It became well understood that it's beautiful for sensitive skin types and beyond. It offers benefits like soothing and calming the skin, hydration, and even reinforcing the skin barrier. With our discovery of a unique strain, we were able to find leaves that were 3 to 4 times larger than standard Byungpul or standard Centella. And so our specific company has a plant patent on giant Byungpul. This plant patent protects us in our growth and really our exclusivity in use of the giant Byungpul for 20 years, and that was established by the Korea Forest Service. We also more recently gained USDA PVP recognition, similar protection in exclusivity, but now in the US and eventually beyond. All of this is really important to really speak to the ability to explore the different benefits of giant Byungpul really comes from myself and any of my colleagues in Raymond because no other brand and no other company has access to this resource to understand what phytonutrients it contains. But all of this said and done, we can actually get into the science behind those leaves and what they are doing. So one of the greatest things about giant Byungpul is all the different phytonutrient content, and many of this is maintained in keeping a fresh form of the leaves prior to the extraction and inclusion in a finished good. There are many water-soluble vitamins in the Byungpul of any kind in the standard Centella asiatica that some companies will lose when they're trying that leaf. So maintaining it in a fresh form is very important. So, understanding how the centella is processed is really important in understanding its potential phytonutrient content. With the specific story of giant Byungpul, of giant Centella asiatica, because it is solely a resource utilized by Riemann, we are committed to the sole research and understanding of what these leaves can do in formulation. And so we have found that in comparison to the standard Centella or standard Byungpul, it has a higher polyphenol content. Specifically, it has 143% more free radical scavenging activity than standard Centella alone. But we've also found that it has a significant anti wrinkle effect as well as a whitening or brightening effect to the skin. With that polyphenol content, of course, you're going to see some of that luminosity due to the antioxidant care and brightness. But specific to the anti wrinkle effect, there's a 60% increase in collagen production. This is in comparison again to that standard Centella asiatica. But Centella is also robust in its anti-inflammatory properties, as you can see here. There's also novel derivatives of Centella. You can ferment it and create things that are equally as beneficial to the human body and to the skin, things that support the skin's microbiome and natural moisturizing factors. So, when considering Centella in formula, which is so popular in K beauty, there's a couple of different ways you can utilize it. You can use it in its whole extract form, or you can pull specific triterpenes or saponins from the leaves. Many of you may be familiar with madecassoside or madecassic acid. Both of these are naturally in Centella asiatica, and people will make specific serums in K beauty that focuses on that madecassic acid, which is profound in its anti-inflammatory effects and in its brightening capabilities. There's also asiaticoside and asiatic acid, which have similar overlapping benefits in hydration, antioxidant care, and in hyperpigmentation reduction. What's crucial is that more often than not, you're going to want to find a product that has Centella in its entirety in formula because there's been illuminated in clinical studies a synergistic benefit when all four of the triterpenes and saponins are present. The madecassic acid, madecassoside, asiatic acid, and asiaticoside all work together to exponentially increase performances in hyperpigmentation reduction or in antioxidant protection. Another ingredient unique to Jeju also is actually the seawater that surrounds the island, which might seem kind of unglamorous at first, but is fantastic for human benefit. So many of you may already know that a lot of different formulas start with water. Water is a universal solvent, and it is fantastic to start any formulation with a big vat of water before adding in your water soluble ingredients and later creating an emulsion or a serum, especially with, drugstore products. Like we have shampoos and body washes. Those are big fills and they're often offered at relatively low prices. So to really maintain that affordability, you use water and a bit of thickener to have that affordable formula. But water really offers no benefit to the human body or to the skin. Your skin is innately hydrophobic. In our utilization of specifically volcanic seawater, which is seawater surrounding surrounding Jeju Island that has filtered through the volcanic bedrock of Jeju Island, there's a difference you can perceive in your skincare products. Now, the sources of volcanic seawater or volcanic water, there are four on this entire earth. So there's Jeju Island, there's Spain, Japan, and Hawaii. Jeju is the only source that has the most accessible and purest form of volcanic seawater. And with this volcanic seawater, not only is it naturally filtered through the bedrock to be freed of any heavy metals or impurities, but it actually is able to pick up essential minerals from that bedrock. So as you can see here, the Jeju lava energy water and any types of volcanic seawater are going to be rich in a variety of different minerals with potential benefits to the human body. And what's also important and why Jeju lava energy water is traditionally the only volcanic seawater used in personal care formulations is that many of the other volcanic water sources have large fluctuations year round in their salinity, in their pH, or in their temperature. You must have a very consistent resource to aptly apply it in formulation to really trust it in formula all the time. Long story short, basically, there's very minimal fluctuations in these considerations with the volcanic seawater surrounding Jeju Island. So, a key location in South Korea, an ingredient that Korean and K beauty formulations are going to really maximize on versus other Western beauty brands and other brands from the personal care industry. This is very unique to K beauty. And of course, in a similar story, you have to have that science and that research to back the utilization. There's a profound skin hydration effect with this aqueous resource, which is so different to the deionized or distilled water used in most Western beauty formulations. There's also a potential benefit in hyperpigmentation reduction. And there's even explorations in the consumption of this aqueous resource. Even at the baseline of formulation is the use of water. K beauty formulas and K beauty brands really are looking at how to produce something different and something that still greatly benefits your skin at the fundamental level. Last but not least, specific to, of course, our brand Remon, but also unique to K beauty brands, a lot of us employ liposomal technology. Many of you may already know liposomes were initially introduced in the pharmaceutical industry as a mechanism of enhancing the absorption of oral or topical medications into the body. And cosmetic brands and cosmetic raw material suppliers capitalize on the beliefs and the performances of liposomes to enhance the absorption of key ingredients. Our company specifically has a patented piece of machinery known as the microfluidizer processor. This creates nanoliposomes of entire formulations. But many brands within K beauty will use liposomes or they'll use exosomes, anything that ends in somes that has that phospholipid bilayer that mimics the phospholipid bilayer of the cells to really make sure that ingredients are depositing as they should. Now, in the use of nanoliposomes, not only are you getting an enhanced absorption of key ingredients, but a targeted efficacy of those ingredients. They can actually bring those ingredients to an area that matters most within the skin. Now, I will finish up here, but in our specific discussion of K beauty, another thing that is really making it popular in this day and age is its cleanliness. So, sorry, my light went off. With K beauty specifically, in upholding these natural ingredients, but also in science, we still have to make sure that we are honoring the responsibility we have in creating unique formulas that are safe. And so, a lot of times that means omitting ingredients that may be toxic to humans or to the environment or simply that might be banned by a regulatory body because K Beauty knows it's going global and we want to be saleable in every single market. And that means complying to all the different regulatory demands that are established worldwide. In our specific stance as a K Beauty brand, we've chosen to avoid over 3,000 different ingredients that have been identified by the EU, ASEAN, the FDA, the KFDA, Health Canada, and beyond. And many K Beauty brands will have a similar story or stance because really that perceived cleanliness gives it immediate trust with the brand, such that a user or you don't have to think too much about using a product. You know the brand and you trust it inherently. Now, I will end with this again in speaking to us and to our utilization of Centella. We specifically have a procedure of extracting that Centella, the giant young pool, and including it into formulation. We water extract it. We found that to be the most beneficial in getting the phytonutrients out into solution. We actually water extract it with that Jeju Lava Energy water. We've included it into key formulations in our own line, like the booster and serum you see here, along with the cream. And we try to have it in high priority because it is, exclusive to us, but also because it's so profound in its different benefits in the hyperpigmentation, fine line and wrinkle reduction in appearances, hydration to the utmost degree. So really in considering Centella, it is a profound ingredient and we get a little bit of an intimate look at it because we have a unique strain of it. We see many of the things that are unique to simply Centella, unique to the giant version of it, but overall unique to K Beauty and its access to a heritage ingredient like this. But that sums up my discussion today.
Well, thank you, Angie, for going through all that. I know we were trying to get through a lot of material
Mhm.
condensed in a short time because what I'm hoping to do is give the floor to everyone that took time out of their night to come and learn a little bit about Korean skincare. As providers and clinicians that are in contact with patients every day, questions are coming up for you. What are you guys hearing from your patients that, made you want to get on this call? K Beauty is trending. And if they're not getting it from us, where are they getting it from? Are they getting it from TikTok? Are they getting it from Amazon? What is inside of these products? And are we able to kind of make sure that it's fitting with the skincare treatment plans that we're doing? Angie, someone is asking if we've done any double blinded studies.
We haven't done double blind studies. The unique thing about our use of the
Mm.
Centella is that we are a cosmetic grade brand. We did many in vitro studies and then placebo controlled with the core dermatology products in comparison to creams or serums without the key ingredients.
Oh, Veronica. Okay. So you had a follow up question. I'm going to answer this from my personal experience. Her question was, do you see results within a certain period of time? And I'll let Angie give you the broader answer because she's been working with the skincare for so long. But for me as an esthetician of 12 years and someone who is I'm a tough sell when it comes to skincare. I had a friend introduce it to me and I was like, yeah, sure, you can sure I'll take a look at it. He's like, you're the expert, just look at it. I'm like, okay, whatever, right? So I reading everything that you just got from Angie, I went down the rabbit holes of like reading and looking and we've had a lot of like cancer in the family. So for me, I'm like a freak about products and ingredients and what goes in. And I got to the end of my reading, I was like, "I need to have this product." Within 2 weeks of using it, I mean, first, I saw the change within days, which, is goes to and I use medical grade skincare, right? So I'm an Epionce girl just because I like it clean. And so I was seeing it, but within 2 weeks, I was in the group and sharing with Philip that I would really love to get this information out to as many providers as possible. But Angie, what is the more broad baseline answer? Because that for me, that's my live story. I believe in the glass skin. I switched to that's why I'm here. That's why we did all of this in the past 10 days because I felt like everyone needed to know and needed to know now. But go ahead, Angie.
Yeah, so as I'm sure you all know in your own experiences in prescribing a specific routine or is hearing how someone has tried a specific product, the ultimate determination of results truly depends on the individual, how frequently they're using the products, if they're using them correctly, their external exposures, their internal intrinsic factors as well. We traditionally see some immediacy in regards to hydration and brightening in as little as 3 days, and more profound results in one full skin cell turnover. So, roughly about 4 weeks to 6 weeks. And again, that is totally dependent on the person. So, it could be less time, more time, but generally the hydration and glow always comes very quickly.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. What's the best way to market the product right now? When you're doing the treatment, the way that I thought would be amazing is we're always looking to like bring new treatments into the clinic. And a lot of people are like, all right, what device should I buy? Do I get a hydrofacial? Do I bring on another laser? It gives you the opportunity to introduce a new facial into your menu, the glass skin facial. And then from there, your patient is leaving, your client is leaving with hydrated, glowy glass skin, and they're able to, and you have like multiple ways you can backstock it or you can get it drop shipped. So it's super easy to pick whatever works best for you without having to stock a bunch of shipments, and anything like that. So what's the best way to market? I would add a Korean skincare glass facial to your menu as a way of introducing it and as a way of re-engaging your client base. This isn't just for us, right? I'm a mom of a 12-year-old. She is in her prepubescent ages and starting to get the breakouts and going through things that, you know, I don't want to put her through Accutane and go through the options that I had when I had horrible cystic acne. It would be amazing to be able to follow in the footsteps of what they do even in Korea, which is start their girls at an age which allows them to take care of their skin very early on. So that would be my best feedback. The clinics that I work with and consult with, that's how we're gonna go ahead and bring it on. Did you have anything to add to that, Angie?
No, I think you spoke perfectly, especially because you have more of that field experience as well. I sit behind a desk every day and I talk to HQ, but to know people that, of course, I also use the products, but to know people that are out there and really using the products like never before is always a great testimony.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, I don't know, it's just really exciting to get to just even learn about Korean skincare because you hear about it, but you don't really, you're like, well, what is that? It's someone mentioned, right? K beauty brands that they're finding everywhere. You're finding it on TikTok. That's where people are buying it. They're getting it on Amazon.
Shannon had asked, are there K-beauty brands that don't necessarily follow the same standard that your company
Yes.
does? I think that's a fantastic question because yes, there are a ton of K-beauty brands out here. And, I also will absolutely acknowledge that perhaps I have bias because, I work here, I understand the products. We would hope that many brands, K-beauty or not, would hold the same responsibility to producing efficacious and safe products. It often comes down to understanding your consumers' needs, what they want to see. And many people right now are very, very educated in the utilization of personal care. They know which ingredients they want to see and what they don't want to see. And so brands of any kind are really looking to respond to that. So with K Beauty in mind, those brands like Metacube and Rejuven, things that are very popular on TikTok, I always just say to really look a little bit more at their story. It's so easy to click add to cart and buy if you're scrolling on TikTok, but if they have a website, see what their story is about. Do they claim any patented ingredients or unique ingredients? How do they say anything about their sourcing? Is it coming from Korea? Is it coming from elsewhere? Are they manufactured in Korea, which can be found simply on the bottle itself? Those things to kind of tell you if they too are honoring this K beauty expectation, or if perhaps they're just trying to make a quick dollar or two off the trending status of K beauty today.
Thank you for that, Angie. I appreciate that. We're getting a lot of questions about samples. I think after I learned about all this, I was like, how do I get this on my face? I was so excited. And I literally was a no brainer for me because they had a 30-day money back guarantee. And I want to be able to try something and know if I like it before I introduce it to my clients. So what I did for you guys, because we wanted to make this really centered around the science and education, what I did was I created a link for anybody that wants to have a discussion on how to bring this into their practice and to get information on purchasing and bringing it on and what else we have. And also, I put together the exact bag of products that I purchased to try. And everything in there is the full ritual for the face, and I also did the hair, the shampoo, and she didn't even get into the science behind what they have in the shampoo and conditioner, but All of it has been incredible. And there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you or you don't like it for any random reason, you are more than welcome to return it back. And I can get into more of that information when Angie jumps off. I want to see if there's any more clinical. Angie, if you caught something in there, any clinical questions, maybe touch on the Fitzpatrick's.
Sure, absolutely. So, obviously, many of y'all know there are different Fitzpatrick's types. I think it's 1 to 4 is what I can remember the last time I had studied it years ago. But in creating a routine for not only the different skin types in terms of the Fitzpatrick scale, but also in terms of, oily or normal combination, etc., we wanted to make sure that the routine was flexible enough and dynamic enough that you could pick which products work best for you and your skin type. And so, especially with our efficacies, we want to make sure that we're honoring the more melanated skin types. So, some K beauty brands that are straight from Korea, they'll have activities or claims of whitening the skin. And so, that's absolutely what we are not aiming to do. We want to make sure that the pigmentation reduction that we are prioritizing is solely on the basis of, hyperpigmentation, dark spots, or overall skin tone evening. But realistically, we've aimed to design a routine that is applicable to everybody. We started in Korea in 2018. We came to the US in 2023, and we knew that we couldn't come here unless we embraced how diverse it was over here. And of course, in the markets we continue to expand to. So it is our design that all of the Fitzpatrick and all of the different skin types in terms of sebum production are honored in a variety of different routines that you can create. That actually kind of connects to a question that was asked of, was this routine 10 steps? Thank you for answering, because yes, there are many different ways to make the steps that work best for you. If you are someone that either has 2 steps right now and can't possibly imagine 10 steps, there's hybrid routines for you. There's something in between. As long as you're satisfying each of those K beauty tenets of cleansing, hydrating, and protecting, that is all that matters. So if that means that you enjoy a routine that's a bit longer, that has 7 or 10 steps, or if you're someone that doesn't have the time and has to get out the door and thusly your routine is 4 steps, that's absolutely okay. Again, we really wanted to make sure that we had a dynamic offering for the individuals who chose to use us.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I'm just
You're fine. I didn't sorry, I didn't even catch that. Is there is there any minimum buy-in amount? No, there's no minimum buy-in amount. Me personally, I just started with like my own personal. I did the whole system for all of it, and it was just like around $500, and it's gonna last me a few months. And with their money back guarantee. I'll send my link to everyone who wants to take a look at it, and you guys can also jump on my calendar. But I want to take the last very do we have a few minutes left with you, Angie?
sure, yeah. And I did really quick. I did see Joanna asked, "What about
Yes.
exfoliating?" I don't know if you want to clear. Is that the one you were looking at?
Yeah, go for it. I wanted you to answer any other clinical questions.
Sure. I don't know what you mean exactly. Like, do we have a product for it? Is it something K Beauty believes in? Because, yes, absolutely. Your skin always needs a little bit of extra help with that cellular turnover. So, us
Mhm.
specifically, we have a more exfoliating powder wash that, really gently helps get those more lodged impurities in the pores or those keratin bods adhering the dead skin cells. But in general, K Beauty does prioritize the concept of exfoliating a couple times a week. Not only does it enhance the absorption of other key ingredients into your skin, but it helps with that radiance, that Korean glass skin, because so much dullness comes with dead skin cells over adhering. So exfoliation and a K beauty concept is yes. And then with our brand, yes, we also have offerings for that.
Okay. I'm going to drop the link in here, ladies, for you to book a call with me if you have questions about how to get it, where to get it, all that good stuff. Don't forget, you got to stay till the end because Zach is putting together our raffle for us. And we're going to raffle off the travel kit, which is also my next personal purchase because I don't know. So just to speak again out of personal experience, because I think that for me is the whole reason that we're here. And actually, pause time before I get into that. We've got Angie here for a couple more minutes. Did you answer the question about professional back bar treatment. Back bar would be adding the Korean glass skin facial to your back bar, which is a multi-step cleaning along with exfoliating, hydrating, and all that. Would you use it with micro needling, microcurrent laser, and any of that, Angie?
Yeah,
Go
so I
ahead.
think that's a great question, and that's largely to your design. I will say that Centella is well known and was originally illuminated in history as a wound healing active. So, whether you have a more invasive treatment or something that's merely on the surface, you may find benefit in applying topicals that not only have soothing and inflammatory capabilities, but perhaps that is nourishing to that degree for the skin. Realistically, it's up to your design and what products you think would complement a specific activity or aesthetic treatment. But I would typically say the core products that were pictured in that last slide, the booster, the serum, and the cream, are very complementary and are often used by many estheticians and dermatologists in the field today.
Amazing. Did that answer your question? Anyone else? Any final thoughts for Angie? Angie, we're going to squeeze your last minute out of you.
Let me go.
Thank you
I
so much.
No, I appreciate all of you so much for your curiosity, for hearing me talk relatively quickly about stuff that we could go hours on and on about. I so respect that you are all professionals, that you hear so many different things in, in the personal care industry. I want to hear what your thoughts are about everything else. So yeah, I don't mean to use my last minute to close out and say goodbye. I
Yeah.
acknowledge that this is a special group to be in front of today. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. We're so excited